Welcome to Intuitive Living with Silvia Sisson. I'm your host, Silvia, and I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, introduce myself to my new show. We're going to talk about just who I am, what I do, and then maybe go into some other details such as conscious level gap. So let's start off with just kind of giving you an idea of who I am. I'm a medium clairvoyant. I'm actually based in Rhode Island. I want to explain a little bit what medium means and clairvoyant means and how I conduct my readings, my intuitive readings, and go from there. So yes, medium means I can actually connect to deceased loved ones. I always give my clients the choice if they want me to do any kind of mediumship with them, because not everyone who comes and sees me wants to do that, and I completely respect that. Just because I see deceased loved ones does not mean my clients are ready to actually hear from them. And I want to make sure I'm always respectful in how much I give and what's appropriate in a session. The way I connect with deceased loved ones, I see them. That would be the clairvoyance. So clairvoyance literally means clear seeing. Sometimes I see everything, hair, height, eyes. Sometimes it's just energy, and then their characteristics and how they felt. And that's actually good enough for my clients to pinpoint who they are. I don't get names. That's just how I function and how it works for me. I do a lot of things in colors. So as I go, I will describe the colors to my client. I start off with giving them their aura, very important for me. It's kind of like I need to know who they are and how they function in order to kind of meet them in that session. So yes, I start off with giving them their aura, and then I go into 3 angels. I mean, we have more than 3 angels, but that's the ones I tune in for my clients. And any questions they have afterwards, I try to, do my work, tune in, tap in, give them some guidance, give them some tools if something comes up that might be a little bit blocked or stuck, and then go into kind of guiding them through, life. I just always kind of explain to people, I want to make sure they understand any information I get for the future, that I'm not a fortune teller, but I do get information about the future where my client is at that moment. If either of the client or people involved in that situation that I'm tuning into changes a slight bit in thinking or action, from that day of the reading, of course, everything can change. Nothing is written in stone. So this is basically how I start off my readings, especially my 1-hour readings. Half an hour, sometimes I skip the angels because it takes too much time, and I would like to just really serve my clients to make sure they get what they are looking for in a reading. Currently, I'm offering 30-minute sessions, 1-hour sessions, and 90-minute sessions. I offer them in-house at my office in Warwick, Rhode Island, but also via Zoom, so you can be literally anywhere in the world. So yeah, that's about me. I'm also an aromatherapist. I do Reiki and I do yoga. I'm a yoga teacher, so I offer various other services. So yes, let's regroup a little bit. Let's go into conscious level gap, as I mentioned it in the beginning. I would like to just explain a little bit what it is, and maybe giving some tools and ideas how to kind of master the conscious level gap. I want to go into a little bit how energy works. I mean, everything is energy. We have I'm energy, your energy, the TV is energy. Everything spins a little bit on a different vibration. That's why it has different textures. With that said, your thoughts, your feelings, what you say, what you do is actually energy. So I want to go into a little bit how I see energy and how I can actually explain the conscious level gap. So I see colors, I see energy such as your energy field, so like my client's energy field. So what I do is I actually tap into my client and see the color that's attached to them. That will be their aura. And based on that, I can actually sense what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and kind of like tap into how to kind of guide them through the session. So the conscious level gap in itself, I mean, we all have situations or relationships or any kind of friendships where we feel it just doesn't vibe. It's kind of like you try so hard to kind of get along or make it work, and it just does not really come together, and it's like a struggle. And you might even take it personal and you get defensive, or you try to prove a point at that moment just to kind of get back to a balance. And I always say, try to understand how it works on an energy level. So if you are consistently involved with a person that does not vibe with you, you might want to take a step back and just kind of look at it as energy. Ask yourself, why is this not working? Try not to kind of like get too emotionally attached, and look at it as, if you actually, I see the color, so for me it's a little bit different, but if I see the person in red and say I'm green, that's opposite in the color spectrum. So how that red person operates and how that green person operates, it's actually completely opposite in energy. The green person will never understand why a red person would react to a certain thing or make certain life choices, and vice versa. So the gap between the red and the green, that is the conscious level gap. Key is not to try to force someone on a lower level, and that does not mean, or lower vibration, that does not mean that person is bad. It just means their conscious level is a little bit slower, it might be a little bit denser, and it's not as aware at that moment. So the key is not to try to prove or change that person. The key is to understand that there is a conscious level gap, and that you can come in and just kind of like, all right, I never have to actually accept what that person does or how they interact with me, but I can try respecting it from the level of consciousness where they're at that moment. That helps a lot to diffuse any kind of attachments we have. It helps a lot to not taking it personal, and just kind of like not overanalyze it and making it bigger than what it is. Not taking it on and actually, be upset about it for a long, long time, or like have a hard time interacting with certain people. So I try to really like explain that, especially like in relationships. I have a lot of clients that come in and ask me about relationships. Might that be like marriage life, or just like getting to know someone, dating, and just kind of tapping into where they're at, and then tapping into where that other person, that partner, potential partner would be. So I can actually remote view, meaning you don't have to be in my space in order for me to pick up some energy. So I can just tap into their partner or spouse and kind of like explain what I see in energy, and then giving them tools and ideas how to change certain situations around, or how to interact with that person so it's going to be more successful and more peaceful and less on a personal level. I really love when I see that sometimes people don't see it from a different viewpoint, or they can't because they might not be as aware of how energy works. And I really love how clients just feel like that aha in an aha moment in that reading. I'm like, oh, that one makes sense, and oh, I can actually apply that and work with it, so we're going to be more successful, more in tune with each other. I always give my clients too, just keep in mind, you are the client, you're sitting with me, I'm giving you the tools. So your spouse, partner, or friend, whoever I'm tuning into, they are not sitting here and they don't get the tools. So be also aware of that. Just because you know it and you know how it works now does not mean that that person is able to actually just accept that or work with it. You try your best, and again, the best way to do so is literally just looking at it as a business transaction right then and there, and not taking it personal. Looking at it as, I don't ever have to accept how they show up, but I can try respecting them from the level of consciousness where they're at. So that's pretty much how the conscious level goes. I find in readings in itself, it's very interesting to kind of analyze how relationships come up. I see a lot of people have opposite in energy relationships, such as like a green energy comes in but is maybe connected with the red energy, again, completely opposite in colors, or like a blue energy is connected with the yellow energy, again, completely opposite in energy. And it's always interesting just to see how a client feels about the relationship if it's such a big gap of energy, conscious level gap. So this would be the tools to just kind of be aware of if you feel something is a little bit not, aligned. There's many other tools I'm sure I'm going to be talking about in future episodes. But that's pretty much how I would explain the conscious level gap. And again, I see energy, I feel that. You might not be able to see the colors, but you might be able to just notice or just know, or you might feel that something is off. Again, take a step back, stay neutral, don't get emotionally attached to it, don't get upset, don't feel hurt, just kind of like shut that emotion off and look at it more as a business transaction. So this would be literally how I would consult my client in a session. I want to go into a little bit what I'm going to be offering in the next couple episodes. I might come in with some meditation, guided meditations. I'm thinking of bringing in some yoga and just kind of like some tools how to kind of like recharge and reset energy. I want to make sure I might even have a guest at some point, and I feel like that's very important to bring in another perspective or viewpoint, especially comes to intuitive work and living. I'm going to be introducing holistic nutrition, working with some aromatherapy, crystal therapy, and then I'm going to go and probably talk a little bit about chakras, our energy centers. I might even do a series where I'm going to work with each of the 7 chakras and go in depth and giving you kind of some ideas what they are and how they work and how to balance them. That's pretty much how I feel it would be really beneficial for everyone to kind of like just take something from it. If you have any questions, if you're interested in a session, feel free to connect with me. My website is silviasisson.com. You can find all the information right there. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram handle is Silvia Sisson Medium. And I hope I see you, or I hope you join me in my next episode.